So, as many of you may already know, a story broke a few days ago about a man in Miami, a naked man, mauling the face off of another naked man in a very zombie like attack. Now, when I first heard this story, all I could think of was, wow, what? What kind of drugs was he on? Are you serious? Turns out this is a very serious issue. Um, let's start at the beginning. On Saturday, a bicyclist on a major highway in Miami happened upon this man eating the face of another man. Now, he asked the man to stop in the safest way he could, and the man didn't even acknowledge his existence. He then called 911, and two officers arrived at the scene, one staying in the vehicle, one exiting the vehicle. The one in the vehicle announced on the loudspeaker to the suspect to get off the victim and step away with his hands above his head. The suspect did not do so. So the other officer approached with gun in hand and asked the man once more to move away from the victim with his hands above his head. According to the witness account, not only did the man not do this, but in response to the officer's request, he lifted his head and growled with, I almost said food, but I guess for him it would have been a food, with pieces of the man's face hanging from his lips, and then bent back down and continued to eat on this man's face like it was an all you can eat motherfucking buffet. Now, at this point, the officer shoots. Shot one not only does nothing to this man, it doesn't even faze him. He continues to eat the man's face. It took 6 shots to put this man down, to get him to stop and, and kill him. This grabbed my attention, so I continued reading the story. Excuse me. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. I haven't been able to sleep yet. This is not the first time something like this has happened in Miami recently. Just a short while ago, there was an event called Ultra. Ultra, for those of you who don't know, is a huge concert, if you will. I don't even get me started on the kind of music that was playing. I like some of it, most of it to me is garbage, but that's neither here nor there. It's dubstep, techno, trance, all that stuff. Perfect breeding ground for hallucinogenic drugs. MDMA, ecstasy, LSD, PCP, anything you can think of was there, I'm sure. They had 4 separate cases during that event of people having a crazy reaction to these drugs. The symptoms included high fever, high enough to where they were trying to get naked or were naked when found, hence why the man who was eating the other man's face was naked, because their fevers are so high that their body is literally boiling their insides, thus making them remove their clothing, dunk themselves in large quantities of water, etc., etc. Now, another symptom includes superhuman strength. In a report from one of the doctors that dealt with one of these people during Ultra, they had a 150-pound person who you would have thought weighed 250 plus, with the amount of people that it took to strap him to a bed and inject him with sedatives. They are extremely violent. They are extremely paranoid, angry, combative, and now apparently they are also, cannibalism is a symptom. In all the reported cases that the doctor spoke about in the news story, um, biting and mauling at their victims with their mouth, especially when trying to be subdued, was a present symptom. I know, right? So that's four during Ultra, and then another case with this man here this past Saturday. All in Miami. So all in one metropolitan city. That's five in the last couple weeks. All showing what mainstream media, and for lack of a better term, would call zombie like symptoms. Don't mind me. I know you've seen me waving it around the camera. Now, the reason I'm creating this video is because after reading that news story, I became somewhat interested in doing more research. Not really thinking I was going to find anything more than just this news story that referenced these four other cases. I couldn't have been more wrong. There are dozens of cases like this nationwide, let alone worldwide. Um, just to name a few: Colorado, California, New York, um, Dubai, China, Japan, all pretty similar across the board in terms of the stories. After I read that, well, not really read it, I watched a video that someone created, which I'll be putting the link up to their website. It's very informative. You should definitely check it out when you're done watching this. But I learned that they've actually done enough research on this condition that they actually have a medical term for it. It's called excited delirium. The fact that there's even a medical term to me is insane. That means that this has been going on way past, or way prior, sorry, to this past weekend and to Ultra Fest that they just had. Now, excited delirium is a condition regarding the neurotransmitters in one's brain. People on hallucinogenic drugs are more prone to have an episode. Um, a lot of it is being associated with a bad batch of LSD, bath salts, something like that. I don't know. Never done anything like that, so I wouldn't know. But, anyways, after these institutions who have actually given it a name and are clearly doing medical research on it to figure out what it is, did further research, it is not always associated with drugs. And there are cases where people have experienced what scientists are now calling excited delirium, who have no drugs in their system. There went their brain and it went clickety clack, I'm insane. Clickety clack, I'm a cannibal. Clickety clack, I'm gonna rip your face off. Now, how does that fucking happen? How does your brain just go, yeah, my friend's face looks like an all you fucking eat buffet and I'm going to town. Fucking talk to you later. And by the way, don't even try to take me down because I don't fucking feel pain. What? So, this excited delirium, you can look it up on a website. called exciteddelirium.org, funded by the University of Miami. There are police protocols in place for officers that believe they are coming into contact with somebody who is afflicted by excited delirium, um, which in of itself tells me that there's way more to this issue than we know as a public right now. And there's all kinds of other links on this page. So definitely take a look at it. Like I said, exciteddelirium.org. I'll put a link down there. Okay, it'll be right there. And I'll also have another link to the GIC spelled GIC.org. It'll also be down here, where you can watch the video where she will outline all of the other cases. Well, not all of them. She goes over a few of them, but you can see there's multiple other ones that she doesn't go over. Just, I think, honestly, for time constraints. Um, guess my question is, what do we do? I mean, I've never been one to feel like I have to have a gun in the house. But if now there's a very real possibility that I could be walking down the street, as was these people in Miami, in Colorado, at Ultrafest, just out in public somewhere enjoying my day. And mind you, I'm also in Tampa, so not very far from where all this happened a couple days ago. Might actually explain more of my heightened sense of urgency and trying to figure out what I should do here. Do we have the right to take justifiable means if we think there is a potential that we have come into contact with somebody with excited delirium, now that we know that one of the symptoms include cannibalism and the ability to rip 80% of a human being's face off? Social, socially, people would say no. They're unarmed. No, you call 911. But I don't think 911 is going to get there faster than his mouth is to my face, especially if he has this superhuman strength. So, what are your thoughts? Take a look at the links that I'm going to have at the bottom of the page. Really look at it, really pay attention to what you're seeing, and put your comments below. I'm really interested to see how other people are reacting to this. I know everybody says zombie apocalypse, you're fucking nuts. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm overreacting. That's fine. That's absolutely fine with me. I would much rather take this too seriously than not seriously enough, and I'm one of those idiots on The Walking Dead who's one of the first to fucking go. So, again, leave your comments, questions, whatever you want to say. Call me a fucking batshit crazy bitch. I don't care. I really don't. So feel free to be as negative as you like. It's all you're gonna do is give me great, great laughter for the rest of the evening. But those of you who actually have a brain and are listening to this and look at the information that I'm going to be providing to you, give me your thoughts. All right? It's 3:08 in the morning, and I'm going to leave you with this. Rule number 2, double tap.